Good morning, everybody. So this week, I want to show you how to pull a profit and loss report or an income statement and a balance sheet, also known as financial statements. So I get asked quite a bit by people to run these statements for them when we're doing their bookkeeping for them. So there's actually some pretty hard restrictions on me doing that. And what it comes down to is I'm a CPA. And because I'm bound by the licensing regulations through the State Board of Accountancy, this organization called FASB and the American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. And so anytime I touch a financial statement, it provides credibility. And because of that, and that credibility comes from those regulations. Um, and those regulations require me to do certain procedures on financial statements to give that credibility. And a lot of times, like you're talking to the bank, you're just trying to get a loan. It might be a simple line of credit, all the way up to a mortgage or something. And the bank just asks for a simple P&L current year or something, and they expect it to just be an easy print off. And so then you email me and say, "Hey, can I get a financial statement because we're doing your bookkeeping for you?" But the problem is as soon as I touch that, I'm required to do those procedures, which then is going to make this a 4-hour project that I have to bill you time for. And I know that sounds like we're kind of splitting hairs on that because we're doing the bookkeeping for you. So shouldn't it already be correct? And all, these are some of the questions. It's like, I have the bookkeeper working for me, so they should be correct. So why do we need to do these procedures? And it is splitting hairs, but really what it goes back to is those licensing requirements. And if you had hired like a traditional bookkeeping company, not a CPA firm tax preparation company, they probably could. They probably could just hit print and send it to you. But because my bookkeeper works for me, it's coming from a CPA level firm. That same licensing, credibility, and regulations pass through to my bookkeeper. But the bookkeeping itself is considered a different type of project. So we can provide bookkeeping services without doing financial statements. I know it's splitting hairs, and I totally agree with you. But printing a P&L or a balance sheet is pretty simple. It only takes a few seconds. And you can go into your own QuickBooks because they are your books that we're just providing a service for on, and you can print those same reports yourself. And so I want to show you how to do that. So I'm going to go ahead and share screen. Now, QuickBooks does offer a test company, so you can go in and test drive QuickBooks to see if you want to use it. And that's what we're in today. So there might be some functionality in this particular QuickBooks that you don't have because I think this is the Plus subscription where most clients are in the Essentials level subscription. But what we're going to look at, you have these same reports available in the Essentials level. So we're going to click on reports over here in the left navigation bar, and it's going to take us to here. You might get a couple of extra pop-ups or something about different style reports, but you should see this box with favorites, and balance sheet and profit and loss are always in this favorites just from the get-go by default. If they're not for some reason, you can scroll down and they're going to be under this business overview section. So there's the profit and loss there and the balance sheet. So that's where they are. And then you're just going to click on it. It's going to instantly pull it up and drop it down to the P&L so you can start looking at it. But if you scroll back up, this is where you have your filters. And so like if this is currently set to this year to date and accrual, those are some settings that you can change by default. But based on what the bank is asking for, you can set your filters for that. So you could go to, there's a whole bunch of different options in here. You have this quarter, this month, month to date, this year to last month, because typically everything's done a month behind in accounting and bookkeeping. So that's why that's an option. Or you've got last year. So we could just click last year. Typically, you're going to leave it on accrual for banks and anything but taxes. Leave it on accrual, and then you just click run report, and then it's going to run it for you. But you also have custom in here. So if you wanted to change the actual dates and customize it, you can. Display columns, typically you're only going to use total only. There are other options there. You could run it last year by months, and then you'll get all 12 months of it. So, and this is, like I said, a sample company, so there's no data in here. Go figure. So you can but typically it's going to be total only. Quick explanation of what we see here. We see your income, some expenses, and then basically your current profit for the year or for this report. So that's what the P&L shows, otherwise known as an income statement. We can go back to, another thing I can show you on here is you can actually click on these numbers and it drills down into what they are. So it shows you where this information is coming from, the actual transactions, these invoices. And then you can just go back to summary report. And then we're going to go back to stupid pop-ups trying to sell this to us. And then let's go back to the reports list and let's look at the balance sheet. So the balance sheet is like your assets and liabilities, like basically what your company owns and what it owes to other people, and then the equity in your company. So that's exactly what we see here. We see assets, liabilities, and equity down here. So this is basically a historical cost of what your company is worth. Not necessarily fair market value, but historical cost, meaning how much money have you actually spent for this company. And so this is your balance sheet. Again, you can just kind of click on these numbers to drill down into them. If you click on net income down here, that's going to take us right back to that profit and loss statement. So that's a way you can easily jump through them after you filtered for the dates that you want. But then once you're here, you can just hit this drop down to export it, and you can export it as a PDF and then click save as PDF, and then you send that to the bank. So that's how simple it is to actually pull the reports. You filter for the time frame that they want. And that's why we can't do it without billing for it. So I hope this helps you understand why we can't and how easy it is for you to actually go in and pull these reports yourself. If you're having problems accessing your QuickBooks, you probably just need to click I forgot my password and reset it, because if we set up QuickBooks for you and you've never gone into it, you've been invited as a user, you probably just need to reset your password. So anyway, hope everybody has a wonderful week.